Welcome to another episode of Victory Leaders Lounge podcast, where we talk about leadership and successful entrepreneurs and veterans come and tell their story. I hope you enjoy the show. Follow me. Let's go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Victory Leaders Lounge podcast. Today we have Brad Osborne. Real quick, I want to go into just letting you know that Victory Leaders Lounge is brought to you by Victory Leadership Coaching. Home of the Warrior Leadership Coaching Certification and the First Time Leaders course. We also have two books, Warrior Leadership, The Journey from Coach to Entrepreneur, and Why Organizations Should Develop Their Leaders. And if you see this, please like, subscribe, and make sure you join my YouTube channel so you can see as many updates as you can. Brad, thank you so much for joining us today. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you, Mr. Hardy? I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, man, no problem. And, you know, you're doing so many good things after we did our initial meet and greet and you told me what you had going on in March. Man, I knew that I just had to have you on here as a guest. So would you mind introducing yourself to the audience, telling us a little bit about yourself and what you got going on in your community?
No. Yeah. Thank you. So my name is my name is Brad Osborne, and I am a real estate broker with Real Broker, the military division of Real Broker. And in March 8th, we're getting ready to have hopefully a really big event for the community. It's called the Real Military Expo, where we're going to have lots of military type things for people to sign up for, to figure out benefits and, different things that go on that have to do with the military community.
So that's awesome, man. So I know I heard you talk about it on a show or a post that you put up yesterday. Plus we discussed it before. Can you tell us about a few of the types of programs that you have going on for the expo and maybe some of what you're looking to potentially add to your show? I know that you're trying to bring on as many vendors as possible to educate on military benefits and stuff.
Yeah, right now we have, I think, about 15 vendors getting ready to be there. So it's going to be a vendor fair, essentially. But before the vendor fair, Greenwood High School, who is a local high school in the community, they have been super generous, and that's where we're going to have it. And they are putting on a breakfast so basically everything goes on from 9 to noon. So the breakfast is going to be from 9 to 10. Right. And I believe you're going to have a link down there for sign up. Everything is free. Number one, everything's free, including the breakfast. There are what they call a Purple Star School, which is a military friendly school here in Indiana. It's a designation that just happened this year in 2025. So they're doing those things. We're going to have everybody there, really, that a veteran, or even in Indiana here, we have a lot of reservists and a lot of National Guard guys, right? And sometimes those guys get forgotten. But we're going to have everybody there from housing needs with myself, obviously as a veteran of the Army, and then my lender, we're going to have information on VA benefits having to do with housing, which the VA loan right now in 2025 is probably the best loan out there, period, end of story, even more so than in earlier years when I love the VA loan anyway. But we're going to have us there. We're going to have the actual VSOs, the VA VSOs for Johnson County out there, Seneca and possibly Megan. I don't know if she's going to be out there or not, but they're going to be out there helping with benefits. So if you need to file for benefits or you want some information on benefits, we're going to have Indiana Tech out there talk about education, because they're a huge college here in Indiana for veteran education, and they've got lots of good programs out there. We're even going to have the VA hospital out there, right? The Indianapolis VA hospital has contacted me, and they're like, "Hey, Brad, we really want to be out there to help with the hospital portion of things." We're going to have mental health people out there, of course. We're going to have different employment opportunities, hopefully out there as well. Disabled American veterans, again, will be out there. The Legion will be out there in case you want to know more info about the Legion and the Disabled American veterans out there too. So yeah, we're gonna have a wide variety of people out there talking about just different aspects of benefits for people.
Well, first of all, that's wonderful. I know that a lot of times these things are regional, that these are put on by like the DAV, and sometimes the VA will put them on at their hospital and stuff like that. But you know, when you were telling me about this initially, it was pretty awesome. And I'd like you to tell the backstory. So what led you down this path to want to put together this expo? Because I mean, your why, the why is what drives people to do things, and your why behind this, I think, is just amazing. If you wouldn't mind sharing that with the audience.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So the why started about 2022, right? Um, so my son is a freshman in college. He's getting ready to go, and I hear a lot of chatter amongst my VA friends and things of, hey, you need to go to the VA, get rated for something, because in Indiana, um, even though I was pre 9/11, he can't use my GI Bill. We don't have any, never had any of those benefits because those weren't around until post 9/11. But in the time that I served, he is able to get college tuition free, right? And if anybody ever has a kid in college, that tuition, even at he goes to University of Southern Indiana, even there is a little over, a little under $10,000 a year, right?
Mhm.
That's a lot of money. And so I was like, okay, maybe I should try to figure this out, right? Being infantry, obviously, um, my body hurts. 22 years, essentially 22 years after I got out. But being in that particular MLS and being in that particular stuff, nobody ever asks for help, right? I don't need help. I don't need your money. It's charity. We have the word entitlement has become a very bad word. But it's not entitlement, right? We have to remember our benefits aren't entitlement; they're earned. It's not like you just woke up one day and so I'm going to go get stuff. You have to go get checked out, and the VA has to verify things. So that's really the why. Is I feel that 22 years of living without benefits and without knowing what I could potentially be receiving because of service connected stuff is too long. Like that's that. I mean, if we just take the benefit money, and that's a lot of times that's what people talk about when you talk about the service connected rating is how much you get monthly, right?
Mhm.
If we just take that money, I mean, it's like I can't remember how much I added it up. It would be like $250,000 or something like that I didn't collect because I don't need it. I don't, but that doesn't even count the healthcare or any of the other stuff that I get, right? Which is more important to, at least to me, and I think to a lot of veterans, it is more important to have healthcare and those benefits that, I mean, even tax benefits on your house and license plate benefits. And, there's just so many different aspects, especially in the state of Indiana. Again, I can only talk to that particular portion, but there's a lot of benefits that disabled veterans and veterans in general get that we don't even know about because we get kicked out, especially in like year 2000 when I was outed, when I left. They basically look at you and go, "Thanks, goodbye," and you're like, "Okay, what do I do now?"
Very fast.
So very fast, very furious. They were okay with transitional stuff. I mean, in 2000, the Army and the military, I think, was learning that maybe we needed to learn resume building, and I do remember going to some of those out processing classes, but nothing for actual benefits when I got out, whether it be um, a service connected rating for back or knees, or all that stuff that you can do. Um, and then learning the Indiana specific benefits, like the tax benefits for your house, and license plate benefits, and again college benefits for your children. um, those are huge things that we need to learn about, that there's never been anything like this done in my area, right? I don't ever recall um, a fair like this. It's bringing all these entities together um, into one place so that you can just visit them all like a vendor fair, and you know kind of get information on everything that you might want, and even volunteer opportunities, right? Disabled American veterans, the Legion, places like that do volunteer work and stuff like that. Or that there's a horse ranch called Haven's Hope that's here in the area within a few miles, that most people probably wouldn't even know that they have a horse ranch that deals with veteran PTSD stuff. Like, who knew, right?
Oh man, you got to share that on here. And by the way, don't mean to interrupt, but we have Mike Asherbrenner on here. He's been commenting like crazy. He says, "Thank you for your service and sacrifice." He says, "You're amazing." He says all kinds of nice things about what's going on here. Mike, I appreciate you making comments and participating on here, buddy. But sorry, go ahead.
You.
Yeah. And,
no,
you're right. These vendor fairs are so important. But yeah, keep on going. Keep on telling us more.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the first one, right? So I don't know how this is going to go. I have no idea, right? I could get 3 people, I could get 300. But like I told my son the other day, because he's getting into his kind of tutoring session type stuff. If you help one person, right, the whole 6 months of prep, the podcasts, the countless ads that you're doing, is worth it, right? Because I could help that one person get whatever benefit they needed, whether it was to figure out what's going on with the VA hospital, to maybe get hooked up with a horse ranch. We're going to have Wayland's Heroes, which is a charity that I donate to, and they do dogs. They do service dogs for not only veterans, but firefighters, police officers, and things like that. But those dogs are amazing, number one, and they're super expensive, but they're probably going to have their merch out there, and that kind of stuff. So it's going to be fun in that way as well. But yeah, no, these vendor fairs, I'm hoping it will turn into an annual event. But we'll see how everything goes. I'm at least on board for number 2, right? I want to do number 2 next year. Same time, same place. Well, I don't know about same place, but same time anyway. Well, and get this thing going.
Well, I know that this thing is going to blow up just because of the amount of work you've put into it, your heart behind it. I think that when we put that kind of energy into stuff, and people start seeing your vision. I mean, you said you had 15 people showing up already as vendors. I mean, those 15 people you look at the way social media works, right? If those 15 people share it out, I mean, they all have a combined audience of a whole ton of people, whether it's on social media or their immediate circle. And so when you consider that, I mean, my goodness, plus when you have a vision for something, and it's going to be amazing, you're not the only one that has these exact same issues, Brad. And I mean, when it comes to people struggling that have separated from the military, you're right. They don't educate nearly as well on this stuff. The education that they do give you, it's you go through a briefing on VA benefits, and it's so fast and furious that you go on break, you're already tired because it's halfway through the day. And then you move on to the next presentation, and it's almost like they don't place any emphasis on it at all, or introduce you to the people that can really support you through this process. So thank you for bringing those people to the table, and hopefully getting tons of people, maybe not even in Indiana necessarily. It's Indiana, correct?
Yeah, it's Indiana. It's Greenwood, Indiana, which is a suburb of Indianapolis. We are literally 10 minutes from Indianapolis. So I'm hoping that it draws not only uh, local people, but, all over, central Indiana are welcome to come, obviously. And the other thing that these things do, I hope anyway, is to shed light on where some of the benefits are, right? Like the horse ranch, or even like I had no idea that the disabled American veterans literally have a really nice, huge building in Greenwood. I was like, well, where are you? And they're like, well, we're tucked behind one of the local breweries. And you have to purposely go down the road to get there, but it's this great building, and they have all these good programs for people in need. Not only do they deal with the homeless veteran, which they all, the kits and things like that, but they also help you file for your benefits too.
Yep.
They'll have people out there helping you file for your benefits. So not only are you going to have VSOs with Johnson County out there, and like I said, Seneca's wonderful. He's helped me so much, and those guys are great. But you're going to have other organizations that can help you file for your benefits and help you guide through and the game, right? Because it's a game. We all know that.
Oh yeah.
We've been military. It's a game. So you got to learn how to play the game. So that's the other thing. They're good at educating.
Yep, so true. And by the way, Vanessa just popped in. Hello, Vanessa. Thank you for joining the live stream. If you have any questions or you want to know more about what we're talking about, he's going into the Real Military Expo, which is going to be taking place in Greenwood, Indiana. And I'm going to be honest with you, Mike, you're right. Kentucky's not far away. As a matter of fact, the DAV headquarters is in Erlanger, Kentucky, which is kind of at that Ohio, Kentucky, and I think it's not far from Indiana border. So, I mean, yeah, they're all pieced together. But anyone here who has people, they don't have to necessarily live in Indiana, although there will be people there to talk about specific benefits to Indiana, like Brad said, but send them to this expo. I mean, if they're veterans who have questions about how to get their benefits, my goodness, it sounds like it's going to be a one-stop shop to try to hook these people up. So please send him his way. And if you have any questions about it, I mean, he's already on all of these chats. I mean, I'll make sure I tag him on LinkedIn and Facebook and anywhere else that I'm connected with him already so that he can respond as well. But if you think there's somebody who could provide value as a vendor, hook up with Brad. If there's a veteran who wants to know what kind of benefits they have available, or they're lost and they need help with this, I mean, hook them up with Brad. Yeah, he can make his way up to Greenwood and have a conversation about the benefits. And Brad, I'm going to be honest with you, man. Mike made the comment about how most people are struggling. It's just most people are better at hiding it. I think that's probably true. And not only that, but when it comes to these benefits, it's a life changer. Once they get this, I mean, healthcare, some people are paying for just them. They're paying anywhere between $100 and $600 a month for health insurance, when they can be going to the VA for nothing. And they can get anywhere from like $150 a month to $4,000 a month in monthly compensation, which could, by the way, change somebody's life from almost living on the street or even living on the street to now being able to afford to live in an apartment or a trailer or maybe even buy a small house. I mean, this is a life-changing thing to be able to get your benefits. And I know that's kind of where you're coming from when you told your story.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, if you're 100% service connected, right, and you're making the 4,000 a month, that's the equivalent. If you think about it, if you ask ChatGPT or any of these other, that's the equivalent to making almost like $70,000 to $80,000 a year, right? Because now you have healthcare and you have all this other stuff. You have the insurance. They even have life insurance that you cannot be denied over. Now, is it the cheapest life insurance in the world? No, but it's something you can't be denied for if you
Right.
if you would like to have a little bit of life insurance up to like 40,000, I think is what the thing is. So yeah, it's really about just bringing these people together. And the other thing I want to emphasize is you don't have to be a veteran to come. If you have a veteran family member that can't make it, or you're a spouse, or you're, something like that, and you just need some information to encourage that person or that family member, that friend to go get the help that they need. Um, that's the other thing too. Come on down, get the info, pick it up. Oh, we're going to have IU Health. They're talking about lung cancer because veterans are 25% more likely to develop lung cancer in their life because of everything we've been exposed to. If you ever heard of the PAC Act, yeah, that thing, I don't know about anybody else on this stream, but I got that magical letter of, oh, yeah, by the way, we acknowledge you were exposed to blah, 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 um, and that allowed me to go get another rating with asthma and things like that. But again, and that's the other thing is if you got an illness like asthma or something that was service connected, and you can obviously prove it and all that other stuff, when things get worse, then you're taken care of. That's the other thing that I think people forget about. If you've got knee problems, if you've got back problems, if you've got this, that, and the other, and you go do this, then you can be taken care of when they get worse.
Yeah.
Because it's going to get worse. And things like that never get better necessarily, right? So that's the ultimate goal, is to be taken care of with you and your family, whether it be with the healthcare or the financial, portion of things, or even a therapy of some sort, whether it be the mental health, like the horses, or there's organizations out there that do all kinds of different things. Motorcycle rides. I was on the Steel Horse podcast, and they were a motorcycle podcast, and they were awesome, right? Because those guys, all veterans and things like that. So it's pretty cool. So we got all kinds of groups hopefully being out there.
Well, actually, you mentioned horses. Here in the next couple of weeks, she hasn't booked yet, but I've done her screening already. But I'm going to be having a gal come on here who owns a horse ranch in Italy. And she's going to be providing paid opportunities for veterans to go over there and do a retreat in Italy and go horseback riding and the whole 9 yards. Yes, she's working on it right now. It's not up and running yet, but when I do that podcast, I'm going to be really hoping that somebody reaches out to her to donate some money to that, because it's she's doing it as a nonprofit.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And I'd never heard of horse therapy for veterans. So I thought that was a pretty cool thing when Haven's Hope approached me to be in the expo and things. So yeah, that's kind of cool. That's the other thing that I found really interesting about the journey is not only getting all these people together, but learning about the different organizations that are out there, right? That you have no idea that even exist, that are in your own backyard. Yep. And that's the other thing, is they don't advertise well. DAV obviously has big advertisements, but everybody thinks of them nationally, right? And not your local. And same way kind of with the VA in certain things. And it's nice to bring them down to a local level so that people can actually talk to these people and figure out how to, get into, maybe the system with healthcare. Like, maybe you're outside of the system. Maybe you're rated and you're outside of the system right now, and you want to get into the system.
Well, it's interesting. So Mike, who I told you about, who's watching us right now, he put a comment up a few minutes ago. He's not even a veteran. And he said he drug a family member to the VA And I mean, I don't know if you're willing to share anything about that, Mike, but I guarantee that that person, whatever help they needed, they probably got with the VA. It probably took a little bit longer than it probably needed to, but they definitely have the help and the resources there. But my gosh, it's better than not getting any help at all. So Mike, thank you for doing that. I mean, we need more civilians like you that understand that sometimes all it takes is to grab somebody and take them to the resource in order to get them help. It really is that easy.
Yeah, no, and I can thank my wife for looking at me one day and just being like, "Look, just go see." If it fail, if there's nothing going on there, there's nothing going on, right? But you need to go figure it out, and that's what I did, and now, um, yeah, got a lot of different benefits. I have now, to include the college and property tax stuff, and like I said, license plates and healthcare and all that. So, very thankful, and that's why I want to. That's why I want this thing to really blow up, and I want people to come because I want people to understand that the benefits are there. You just have to ask for them, and
That's right.
it takes a bigger person to actually ask than it does to sit in the corner and not ask. So
Yeah,
to admit that you need help.
well, and getting a disability rating doesn't mean you're out of the fight, guys. I mean, a disability rating just means you're receiving a benefit that you earned. That's really all it is. You got hurt while you're in service. Now they're going to pay you because you raised your right hand. You took the time to serve. You chose to get up at dark 30 and attend those stupid formations every day that they told us we had to do for a urinalysis or weapons draw for going to the range, that you ended up grabbing your weapon and sat there for 4 hours before you even hopped on the bus to go to the range. And you did all the craziness. You went and fought. You got hurt. You had issues, whatever. Go in there and get your damn benefits. It doesn't actually mean a thing. But thank you for doing this, Brad. I know it's going to turn out well. I just know it will. But we're almost done here. We got about 2.5 minutes left, so I want to be respectful of your time. But I would like
Sure.
it if you would share just one thing with the audience. I always ask that somebody shares if there's a piece of advice or just one thing that you would share to the audience that you think would be beneficial.
Oh wow, One Piece. Okay. Um, I guess as far as this goes, as far as the passion here goes, guys, don't be afraid to ask for help in anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter if it's VA benefits. It doesn't matter, what it is. We all need help in life, right? And we all do life better together as a community. And the veteran community, I think, is a special one. And you just, even if it's just finding another veteran at the Legion or at the VFW or whatever it is, um, ask for the help and talk to somebody about it, regardless of what it is, what your end goal is. It doesn't matter. For me, again, the first thing that I thought about was taking care of my son in an education. That's why I started the journey, right? But now I have way more benefits and way more stuff than I could have imagined 3 years ago. But 22 years is too long to wait to get those benefits, to get the help that you need. And yeah, just don't be afraid to ask the person to the right, the person to the left of you, your spouse, whoever it is, your friends. Again, just ask. And
Yes.
9 times out of 10, man, people will help.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just a sounding board. And don't be afraid to approach somebody that you think may need help and say, hey, man, what can we do? You need to get on this. Because I had other friends in the military community all the way out in California and here in Indiana and things. And they were like, dude, you need to get on your benefits. And it's like, yeah, okay, I'll do it later. And then it was just like, then my wife was like, you need to go do this because we got a kid going into college and you need to look into this. So
Hey, dude, all you can do is share what they can get. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't always make them drink. That's just kind of the way it is. But you're
True.
right. If you need help, ask for it. You know, pride is going to get you nowhere. Use pride for other things. Don't use it to hold you back from going out there and getting what's yours. Thank you so much, Brad. For the audience here, thank you for the participation we've had. We've had people pop in and out through the whole live stream, but over the course of a half an hour, that is pretty normal. But thank you for showing up now or later. But if you see this, please like the video. Please, if you see this on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. We need more people to see this. So in order to do that, we got to boost that algorithm. And the most important thing is, if you have any questions, put a comment below. If you want to be connected with Brad, I can make that happen. But at the end of the day, we can't help anybody unless we keep the conversation going. So again, that's the end of the show. Brad, thank you again. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
Of course. And for everybody out there in the audience, we will see you next time.